Hi gang, it's Mrs. Kafer and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on our art lesson today, which is going to be ancient Egypt jewelry making, beading in particular. So from what you've learned this year about ancient Egypt, they worshipped all different kinds of things and they were very ornate in their culture. So they, from the pharaoh all the way down to the peasant people, all of them wore all jewelry, including their pets. In the Nile, they had access to all sorts of different kinds of precious stones and precious metals, and they also used a ceramic called faience. Today, we're going to make these earrings. These are called lute players earrings, and here's a picture of these ladies. It's kind of hard to see, but they had these big looped earrings, and if you can look real closely, you can see that they wove their hair through their earrings. And so these people were often the musicians and the performers at feasts and celebrations. So we are going to use our talents to make us some lute earrings. So what you should have is a paper towel, a paper plate. So you're going to have your setup like this. And this paper towel is going to help so that the beads don't roll around. Each of you will have a little bag like this, and it's going to contain all of the hardware that you need. So you'll have 2 long pieces of wire, 2 shorter pieces of wire, 2 little jump rings. These little tiny things are kind of hard to hold on to, and 2 fish hooks. And on your table you'll have some tools like this, needle nose pliers, or like these are kind of needle nose pliers, or some that are round. So you can see that they're round. And those are, you're going to use those to help make those little loops at the end of your piece of wire. So each of you will have this little piece of paper, and it gives you kind of an idea of how you're going to make them. So here's the 2 pieces of wire, and these ones all have loops. You don't have to have a loop, and you can take the loop out. If you want to start by planning and designing your piece from the middle and then working out, you can put it on from both sides, okay? So then when you're done, you'll have this. So I'm going to pick out my colors. So I went ahead and picked out some colors. I'll show you what I decided to do. I took the little loop out of one side and I decided to go from the middle. So I put my white bead in the middle, and then I put some of my turquoise on the outside. Now I'm going to add a little bit of either red or blue, and I just want to show you how I picked up the beads off of my plate. So I think I'm going to go with a dark blue. So what I did, a way to put them on is just to stick your wire through and then slide it up like that. Here's one. I just put my wire through there and then I lift it up and put it on there. So now I've got a little accent there. I'm going to hold it on this side so that all of my beads don't come off, and I'm going to do it on this side. So just going to put the tip of it on there and slide it on. Hold it with my finger and do it again. Okay? You can kind of see my pattern is starting to form. You can also just pick up the bead and put it on like this through the hole like that. Okay? So as you can see, I'm almost to the ends, and I just have about an inch left on both sides. And right now it's getting a little bit tricky because as I try to put them on this side, then they want to fall off. They can easily all fall off. We don't want all of our work to be ruined. So when you get to this point, I would recommend curling off one end. So you'll just take your little tool and you can just bend it a little bit so that you make a little loop. Put that little loop back on there, and then just go ahead and do the very end parts a solid color. So my pattern was 1 white, and I did 6 turquoise, 4, 4, 6, 4, and so I'm going to add 1 more white on here, and then I'm going to finish it off with turquoise. Okay, so now you can kind of see that I added more red on this side and I finished it up with the blue. So this side is the side it needs to be matched up. It needs more red and more blue so that it matches this side. But I went ahead and made a little loop on this side so that, see, my beads will not come off. So now I've got the loop on one end and I got the other end, and there's just a little bit of wire there. Now it's going to be tricky because I don't want to lose all of my what I've done. But I'm going to take my little tool again, being careful that I don't just hold on to the beads, because then it'll slip right off. And I'm just going to take my little tool and I'm just going to turn it like that. We're going to hook it on to our little jump ring, okay, which I will just show you how to do that right now. So now I'm just gonna, so now that I have, there's my earring. This is the outside, the large circle of my earring. I'm gonna take that little loop and I'm just gonna open it up slightly. I don't want all my beads to come off, so it's just, there's just a small space there. Then I'm gonna take my little jump ring and I'm going to hook it onto it. Then I'm just going to use my fingernail to close it off. I'm just pressing with my fingernail to squeeze that loop closed. I found that's the best way instead of using a tool, is just press your fingernail and close it up. Okay? And then we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Use your little tool, and if you need help, one of the moms can help. Just slightly open it. Don't open it all the way, if you can see that. And then get your jump ring, hook it on. I lost one of mine, it's okay. And then I'm just going to squeeze it shut. And there we go. There's the first part of my earring. Little jump ring, hook it through there. Hanging there, and then once again, it's real easy to bend. You just squeeze it with your fingers and then it's closed. Okay, so now I finished the second part of my earring, the second loop that goes on the inside, and I'm going to attach it to my jump ring. So I opened up the little hook slightly, and I'm going to just stick it through the jump ring and crimp it down with my fingernail, and then do that with the other side too. Here's the earring before I put the fish hook on, and you just kind of need to bend it a little bit and to get those rings to look like rings, because this wire can bend easily, so just work at it and get those rings. Here's how you're going to put your fish hook on. So there's my little jump ring. I'm going to hook the fish hook in and then crimp it closed with my fingers, and that's what it looks like. So that's the finished earring. You're going to do another one for the other side. Okay, y'all, here's the finished product. This is a test. Testing. Hey gang, it's blah, 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 blah.